Today, there was an absolutely major development regarding the Epstein files that has gone unreported in the mainstream press. In the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, oral argument was held today in the case of Radar Online LLC versus Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. This is a 10-year-old case under the Freedom of Information Act in which Radar Online has sought the Epstein files in possession of the FBI. And in this hearing today, an amazing thing happened. Both counsel for the FBI and the plaintiff agreed that the case had to be remanded to the district court in view of the new congressional activity regarding the Epstein files. In particular, Judge Gardefee, the district court, had previously ruled against the plaintiff and held they were not entitled to any documents on the ground that the Freedom of Information Act had a categorical exclusion for ongoing litigation, ongoing criminal and law enforcement. Of course, that situation has changed. There is no ongoing law enforcement activity of which we are aware. There might be in the future, but there's none right now. But more importantly, Congress has now acted, and its new legislation requires production of the Epstein files, subject to various limitations, but those limitations are very, very limited, very minor. And what happened today in the Second Circuit is both counsel for the FBI and the plaintiff agreed that the case has to be sent back to Judge Gardefee, and he should figure out what to do in view of the fact that the Epstein files will soon be released, at least in some form. Some of them will be redacted. Some of them may be withheld. But now, Judge Gardefee may be the most important person in the world concerning the Epstein files, because at least with regard to the files that were at one point in the possession of the FBI, Judge Gardefee is going to decide whether the production by the government, by the Justice Department and otherwise, of the Epstein files is adequate, whether the redactions are appropriate, whether the government has engaged in some kind of cover-up and has withheld documents that belong to the public. This is a major, major development, and it looks like the esteemed Judge Gardefee, who I know very well, I've appeared before him, he was a very excellent judge in the Southern District of New York. Judge Gardefee is going to play an absolutely critical role with regard to the review of the production of the Epstein files. So this is good news indeed, because, in other actions, members of Congress have requested a special master to oversee the production of the Epstein files. Well, we now know that Judge Gardefee of the Southern District of New York, because of this Freedom of Information Act proceeding, is going to be assigned the task of overseeing the production of the Epstein files, at least insofar as they were previously in the hands of the FBI. This is a major development and means that the Justice Department will now be under the oversight of a federal district court concerning its release of the Epstein files.